So I'm here at Spekboom where we do a lot of our herbivore experiments. They've had a lot of really good rain, and you can just see how the Spekboom has responded. These Spekboom about 4 or 5 months ago had shriveled paper thin leaves, and now they've just got succulent leaves. They've just really kind of inflated up with water. What's very interesting here is, okay, so we got red stems growing in the summer with the water availability, and you can just see this like field of red stems, and this is interesting where we can now know where the herbivory has happened in the last little while. In terms of this has all happened in about 3 months of growth in the last 3 months, and so we can estimate how much herbivory has gone on. So there's a bite there, there's a bite over there, here bites down here. If we look up here, there's a bite, so now I'm getting up to about kind of what a kudu, maybe impala standing very upright could get to. So there's another bite over here. But once we get super high, you don't see any evidence of any herbivory. But as we go lower and lower, so you can't tell, let me just back up there so you can see where I'm looking. So there's the base. I'm looking about 1 meter up, and you can see there. So this is probably kudu, just the way that bite is done. They bite and they pull. But this is where the real story lies. Look at all of these red stems that now have been bitten off. There, here, there, in there. You can just see the intensity of the browsing. You can actually see that it's a bonsaiing that's happening. Let me back up here a little bit. Can you see those long stems? That's all the growth. You can see that up the top, completely fine. You know, lots of growth happening. You can see some stems out there. But when you get to this bottom here, we get this, you get this like angle, this pyramid, side of a pyramid almost. And when you get into that, it is just full, absolutely full of these bite marks, just everywhere, bite. So that's being done by the small herbivores, Deka and Steenbok. And this is a big problem. I mean, because as soon as we raise out of this, you can see that we're back to, so I'm just looking, not even that high up, about 1 meter up. Then we're back to having nice long little red branchlets indicating of recent growth. And the reason why this is a problem is because Spekboom grows in like a skirting manner. This skirt is what holds in all the leaf litter, acts as the trap. You can actually see how the waters run around it now. And what normally happens is that the skirt grows outwards, but it's the Deka and the Steenbok that are hedging it, that are actually bonsaiing it in place. So a massive plant like this is a big plant. Might be multiple individuals. I suspect it could also just be one, but this thing is being hemmed in by the smaller herbivores, Steenbok and Deka. And obviously, part of that is that the mesopredators, jackal and caracal, have been shot out of the system, removed out of the system by farmers. And this is the kind of result, is that Spekboom cannot get going and grow sideways how it normally does. Oh, look, there's the spoor now. There's the culprit. Let's see if I can. I'll put my finger next there. Yeah, came up here. You can actually see, came along here and did some browsing along there. And so Steenbok and Dacre don't like dense thickets. They're what Mariki Landman calls ecotonal species. They like to have bush clumps, but then they also like to have open landscapes. So they kind of live in the ecotone between dense thickets and bush clumps. But the problem is that our degraded system is completely open. Like, this should be dense thicket, but because it's open now, it's great for Dacre and Steenbok, and then they start having this huge effect on the plants. It's interesting. I mean, as soon as we just get a little bit in there, you can see how far that they don't want to go in. So there, down here, we've got all this. Look at that long whippy growth. They haven't gone in there. They don't like that. They don't like being in the dense stuff. And I've seen that before. You go about a meter into dense thicket, and you stop getting any of this evidence of this browsing that's going on. And yeah, so this Spekboom clump has the ability to expand outwards. And that's kind of one of the things that Spekboom does. Stuart Hill, 1992, in his paper, kind of really describes it really nicely in terms of how Spekboom grows from lateral branching. But here it just can't happen because we've got anthropomorphically caused high numbers of Dacre and Steenbok. Yeah, so not quite sure what the solution is. Just identifying the problem.